unborn baby work for the state of Missouri? That is one of the questions surrounding a deadly MoDOT work zone crash in South County now make its way to the Missouri Supreme Court.
And this case could impact people around the state. First Alert 4 Investigates has been following this for years. 2 years ago, a driver hit a MoDOT crew working on Telegraph Road at I-255, killing 2 workers. One of them, Caitlin Anderson, who was 6 months pregnant.
Her family sued the state, and that case is now in the hands of Missouri's Supreme Court. First Alert 4 investigator Susan Elcory detailing the legal fight and what this hearing could mean for you.
Pictures hold more than memories.
I'll never get to see my daughter's face again.
Bringing reminders of what Tanya Muskoff lost when her daughter, Caitlin Anderson, died.
I'll never get to tell her I love her. I'll never get to hear her tell me she loves me.
In November 2021, a driver crashed through this St. Louis County MoDOT work zone, killing Anderson, who was 6 months pregnant with a son named Jax. Her family claims the state didn't protect the crew.
This was 100% preventable had they done their job.
Since the crash, reporting by First Alert 4 Investigates exposed multiple missteps. MoDOT didn't give the workers a required protective barrier called a TMA.
Somebody on the ground, and I mean boots on the ground, an employee that works, has to take the fall for their mistakes. They'll never admit that the higher up don't even know what they're doing.
Chris Jordan, a now former supervisor who was in charge of the crew the day of the crash, claims she never knew about MoDOT's safety policies called TAs.
Before the accident, we didn't even know about what a TA was. So after the accident, those were starting to get pulled and, read through.
What do you mean you didn't know what a TA was?
We had no idea what a TA was or that we were supposed to be using them. Nobody knew in our building.
Muskoff is suing MoDOT, but the state is trying to get the case dropped. They've been unsuccessful so far, which is why they're now bringing it to the Missouri Supreme Court. In court filings, MoDOT says Anderson's unborn baby was their employee. They also claim Missouri's workers' comp law protects them from any liability because of what some consider a loophole. Under the law, if you're single and don't have children younger than 18, your employer can argue they're not liable if you die on the job. MoDOT says this applies to Anderson and her unborn baby.
All Caitlin did was go to work, and they deliberately did not follow safety protocols that cost my daughter and my grandson, his life.
MoDOT won't talk to us, saying the department does not comment on pending litigation. The judges will weigh in on both points. First, is an unborn baby MoDOT's employee? And second, are there exceptions to Missouri's workers' comp law?
I would expect MoDOT to work with me.
This mother also wants safety changes, asking MoDOT to give all crews protective barriers and improve training. Steps she believes will prevent another family from sitting in this spot.
Had they done their job, I'd be having a 2-year-old run around right now. The happiest time of my life would be a Grammy. Instead, I'm mourning my grandson.
The Missouri Supreme Court hearing is Wednesday morning. Both sides will present their arguments. Then the judges will look over the case and release their decision. We don't have a timeline for exactly when that will happen, but what we do know is these decisions could have far-reaching implications in Missouri on workers' comp law and also whether an unborn baby can be considered an employee. Susan Elcory, First Alert 4 Investigates.